What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Wednesday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. Now, don't worry, we will, of course, be here tonight from 6:45 for a watch-along of the Everton game, a massive game to welcome back Premier League action, and we're going to take you right through tonight's action with our player ratings, match reaction, and everything else you would expect from us on a match day. Until then, I'm going to try and run you through the latest news around Liverpool Football Club. We're going to be talking about a plea from the club about the welcome of tonight's bus. We're also going to be speaking about Harvey Elliott and Diogo Jota being of interest to Newcastle. And we're going to also ask, will anybody pay the £150 million that Newcastle are asking for? A little bit on Andrea Cambiaso as well of Juventus, and a few other interesting bits and pieces over the next few minutes. You know the score. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you happen to enjoy the video, drop a like on it, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So we're going to start off with Newcastle and their price tag of Alexander Isak. This piece here from the newspaper said Newcastle's £150 million price tag for Alexander Isak has caused Arsenal and Liverpool to pivot to alternative targets. But if they're in the Champions League, it becomes, according to one Premier League source, a non-issue this close season. It's looking like if Newcastle get Champions League, there's absolutely no chance in hell they're selling Isak. But even if they don't, that £150 million valuation has certainly seen Liverpool and Arsenal pivot to other targets. We spoke about Hugo and Liverpool quite a bit. Arsenal have been mentioned with a couple of different strikers as well. So let's see what happens in the summer. Until then, Paul Gorst of the Echo has posted to say that Liverpool have asked fans at tonight's derby to keep the Annie Road clear to avoid rerouting of the team bus on its way in. Club keen to preserve pre-match atmosphere, but don't want safety compromised. Liverpool safety team and Merseyside Police will be coordinating the operation. So if you are attending tonight's game, please heed any advice from the police or, of course, the Liverpool coordination safety team, anybody else in and around the game. Of course, they want the atmosphere to be brilliant, understandable. It's a Merseyside derby, but safety is always the number one concern. Right, ladies and gents, let's move on to, well, a little bit of filming with Mohamed Salah that had Liverpool fans chatting around earlier on today. Well, it seems it's nothing to do with a contract extension, and it was part of a bit of filming that Liverpool were doing for a documentary or film or something that they're recording on. So, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's anything to do with a new contract for Mohamed Salah. You may have seen that doing the rounds on social media. Also, a bit of a weird story this, but Marseille boss Roberto De Zerbi punished his players after they lost to Rem by locking them in the training ground overnight, according to the Daily Mirror. And look, many other articles I've seen written about this. That's shocking. That is absolutely shocking. Being locked in the training ground overnight with the likes of Mason Greenwood. I'll pass on that one, thank you very much, Roberto. Right, so let's get to Newcastle. Let's get to their interest in Harvey Elliott. I think it was Melissa Reddy said recently that Liverpool are willing to listen to offers for Harvey Elliott this summer. This piece here from Team Talk say that Newcastle are plotting a move for Liverpool's 21-year-old midfielder Harvey Elliott. They ask, how much is he worth? Well, we did ask that question on our late night agenda stream, and we reckon somewhere between 35 and 40 million is probably a realistic number for Liverpool to ask for Harvey Elliott. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Now, I got to make it clear, I don't want Harvey Elliott to go. I think maybe a lot of you guys don't, but it is Arne Slot's decision at the end of the day, and of course, down to Elliott. So let me know, do you think Newcastle are a decent destination for him? And we're not finished with Newcastle yet, by the way. We've another piece coming up about them and another player they're interested in from Liverpool. But before that, I mentioned Andrea Cambiaso at the start of the video as well. This piece here from Sport Witness say that Juventus's Andrea Cambiaso isn't fazed by Liverpool or Manchester City rumours of interest in him. His agent said he's absolutely happy at Juve, aiming to restore their glory. Look, Juventus are a story club, no doubt about it. But realistically, if a club like Liverpool, Manchester City, any of the top clubs in the Premier League come in for you, well, you've got to ask yourself, Are you happy to stay at Juventus and hope for glory? Because at this point, they haven't been winning much Juventus lately. So I would say that there is a chance, if the right money's put down on the table from somebody, and it looks like that number would have to be over 60 million, that Cambiaso would certainly be at least open to the idea of it. That's my take on it anyway. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So we mentioned that Newcastle are interested in Liverpool's Harvey Elliott, but there's another player on that list as well for Newcastle that they're interested in, and that player is, of course, Diogo JOTA. Now, this piece from Gimme Sport here does seem a little bit far-fetched, but it's not the first article that I've seen suggesting that Newcastle hold an interest in these two particular Liverpool players. This piece here said Newcastle would be interested in signing Diogo JOTA and Harvey Elliott from Liverpool as part of a potential swap deal for Alexander Isak. Now, if it softened their £150 million valuation and Liverpool were happy with the valuation put on our two players, I don't see a problem with that in theory. But is it likely to happen? Well, let's say Elliott was worth 40. Diogo JOTA, I would argue, is worth 50. That's 90. So are Liverpool going to put up 60 million quid on top of those two players? It would leave us, in my opinion, needing to bring in a midfielder. I can understand maybe Ryan Gravenberch being supplemented by Stefan Bajcetic in this summer's window. But if we lost Harvey Elliott, I do think we'd need to bring a creative force in midfield. So 60 million quid on those two players. Let me know what you're thinking on this one, Reds, because I think this summer we may see Liverpool move on both these players and Darwin Núñez. So in theory, as I've mentioned, I'm not against the idea of them moving on. It's just about making sure that we have enough cover and we're not putting all our eggs in one basket. So last night we spoke about the idea of Hugo Ekitike coming in as an example with somebody like Liam Delap if we were to move on Diogo Jota and Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez. And that seemed to kind of be the preferable idea for a lot of Liverpool fans, is bring in a great striker or a very, very good striker, somebody like Ekitike who most fans feel could do a job, but back that up with somebody like Liam Delap or somebody else who is robust and somebody who is younger than Diogo Jota and somebody who, well, the manager maybe has a bit more trust in. So for me, I'm interested to see what happens there this summer. I do think we'll lose two of the three forwards, and from two of the three I mean Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz. But with Barcelona having their own problems at the minute, namely that they can't register any players according to the latest information coming out of La Liga that said the €100 million deal they have to sell VIP seats for the revamped Nou Camp can't be used against the calculations for their internal PSO or their internal FFP in La Liga. Look, I don't really fully understand it, but that probably rules them out of Luis Diaz, along with the fact we brought you the news that Hansi Flick said he doesn't want them. So could it be Jota and Darwin that move on? I think it's probably likely, but let me know your thoughts. So again, my friends, we'll be back 6:45 tonight. I cannot wait to get back to watching the Reds in action. It feels like a lifetime ago since we played. Believe it or not, it was the League Cup final, our last game, 2.5 weeks ago. I'll see you tonight, 6:45. We'll be taking you right the way through. Appreciate your support as always. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and we'll catch up soon. Much love. Bye-bye.